Let's get some reaction to the trailer. And Ben, as always, we're going to throw it to you first. And I'll just remind you, Ben, when you're talking about the trailer, speak freely.
I would love to. Boba Fett, don't kill me. So this trailer, I think it does so much. Obviously, amazing. I think everyone can see like it's an amazing trailer. It shows us so much, but also doesn't show that much. If you actually watch it, you can tell there's a lot of like intercut scenes that are just like going back and forth between a few different scenes. I really feel like we're only seeing maybe some footage from maybe the first or second episode at the most. I think they're really holding back with this. And I love that. I love the idea of going into the show and not seeing everything and having some really things. And yeah, we've heard some rumors and some crazy stuff might happen in this. We don't see any of that, and that's great. I want that to be a surprise. But what we do get is some really great stuff, kind of what we expected, but also just some confirmations of like, okay, where could this show go? Okay, it's going this direction. It's going to be this mob, kind of story on Tatooine. We see this giant city. Obviously, I think it seems like the budget has been kicked up quite a bit because I don't recall shots like that in The Mandalorian. This show somehow looks better than The Mandalorian, and that's saying something. And just Boba Fett himself, I think there's a lot of the costume, just like there was some ticks in there in Mandalorian that was like, they could have refined that, whatever. You could tell like in like the tragedy, it was like clearly just they just put the armor over his robes very just like very haphazardly. It looked fine, all right. It was Boba Fett back. We didn't complain, but it was definitely like, they could do better. They've done better. He looks incredible. And Tim Morrison looks incredible. And it's just, I'm so happy to see this and finally happening, having to, this is just a couple months away, 55 days, y'all.
Yeah. It's just around the corner. I mean, you mentioned it, Ben. There's really nothing in this trailer that we couldn't have inferred from the final scene of The Mandalorian season 2.
Right.
Like it really just sort of expands on everything that happens in that scene and suggests a few things, but it's all the stuff that I think we were expecting going into it. And one thing I'm excited to see as the series goes on, because I do agree with you that likely this trailer only covers the first part of the season. Although I will remind everybody that the Mandalorian season 1 trailers showed stuff from like the last 5 minutes of the last episode. So it's possible that we're just kind of that we might be wrong about that. But I agree with you that likely it's just the first couple of episodes. So it makes me wonder, where else is this story going to go? What more could we see in addition to what we're already seeing, which looks really exciting? Chris, let's get some reaction from you. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like, half of me is disappointed that we saw so little in the trailer. And then the other half of me is excited that we're going to get all those reveals on the show. Because that's something that The Mandalorian has been really good at, is hiding a lot of stuff from us and then revealing it, as we're watching it, which is super awesome.
Right.
And it makes me wonder if they are, showing so little of this show, and it does appear that the stuff is from just a few scenes towards the beginning of this series as they're setting up the exposition for what it's going to be about. Like, what is after that? Like, is what characters and situations and planets and whatever is going to come in that, they want to be a surprise. Because if the whole show is just like this, if the whole show is just, Boba Fett and Fennec Shand kicking butt, then they probably would have shown all those fight scenes, because you're not really revealing anything. So it's almost like an intriguing thing where I'm actually more interested in what we didn't see than what we did see, which is interesting. Because what we did see, as Ben said, it's pretty obvious. Like, it's nothing surprising.
Yeah, it's what it's what you'd expect based on the way season 2 of Mando ended.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like you said, it means they're saving the reveals for the show. I wonder, I always wonder, like, if this trailer could have premiered at Celebration or at Comic-Con or D23 or something like that, or even an event like a Disney Plus Day or something, where there's an audience. would they have included something else in it, like a little extra stinger that would have been the thing that got everybody jumping out of their seats, going crazy? Because that tends that I've noticed that there tends to be, there's the celebration trailers and then there's the normal trailers, and the celebration trailers always have that moment that's just there for the people that are watching the live stream or are there in person, you know, or the people that are waiting desperately for the trailer, where it's like, here's your nugget, here's the thing that's really exciting to you that maybe everybody else won't be quite so into. Whereas the trailers that just sort of go out on a random Monday in the morning are curated for everybody. Therefore, they're just trying to drum up interest in the show with general audiences. So I suspect there's some of those celebration moments, so to speak, in the show. But you know, it is kind of nice that they're keeping those hidden for the time being.